The summer's quiet in Barcelona never stayed quiet for long. With the transfer window closed, whispers that once ricocheted around the Camp Nou corridors have settled into a single loud question. Will Frenkie de Jong sign a new contract? Or will the clock reach zero and leave the club facing months of uncertainty? For a player who has become the engine of Hansi Flick's midfield, the answer matters far beyond shirts and statistics. It touches registration headaches, salary cap arithmetic, and the very shape of Barcelona's plans for the next 2 seasons. The immediate ignition point was simple. De Jong's current deal expires in 2026, and the summer's work now pivots from incomings to the urgent business of keeping the core intact. That urgency, though, collided with a mess of representation and deferred commissions that had frozen progress until the player made a decisive break with his longtime agent and assembled a new legal team. Those first introductions between the new camp and Barca's sporting office were, by most accounts, careful and constructive. Deco took the meeting and the tone was deliberately calm, the kind of transparency both sides say they value after months of friction. This is why the timing matters. Barcelona must juggle financial reality with ambition. Wage structure limits loom, registration windows have to be navigated, and the club cannot afford a surprise that forces them to sell or lose leverage. De Jong's standing in the squad is undeniable. He's not just a starter, he's the connective tissue between defence and attack, so securing him would be more than a box ticked. It would be a strategic signal that Barca intends to build around the midfield identity Flick is forging. But securing that signature won't be a simple handshake. Negotiations will likely revolve around creative pay structures, the length of any extension, buyout clauses, and the complex calendar of deferred payments that previously entangled the player. Those are the technicalities that look dull on paper, but decide seasons. The meeting with Deco changed the tone. When a sporting director sits down and conversations are described as sensible and transparent, it's a relief after public spats and legal knots. It means the parties can talk substance rather than posture. For supporters, that first positive exchange felt like a small bridge across a deep divide, proof that personalities and paperwork had finally begun to align. Yet constructive is not the same as complete. The reports make clear there is still no signed document, only goodwill and a timetable that points to renewed contacts after the next international break. That gives both sides room to shape the deal, but also creates a countdown. Every week passed without resolution edges De Jong closer to the final year of his contract, and that reality changes the leverage each side brings to the table. So what should fans and neutrals watch for next? First, the cadence of meetings. Will Deco and De Jong's representatives move quickly from introductions to concrete proposals, or will they stall into a series of technical reviews? Second, the financial architecture. Will Barcelona insist on a reduced nominal wage in exchange for bonuses or a longer term? Or will De Jong push for protections and a release clause that preserves future options? Third, squad consequences. A renewal helps stability. A breakdown means Barcelona must consider whether to plan around a possible exit or to scramble for replacements in the next window. Each of those outcomes will ripple into transfer plans, youth promotions, and even tactical tweaks for Flick's midfield. There is drama here because the variables are human as much as contractual. De Jong himself has publicly signalled a desire to stay. That intent matters. But sport is full of stories where stated intentions bump into fiscal constraints and legal reality. The current picture is one of cautious optimism. The relationship has been repaired enough to permit talks, new representation, clears old obstacles, and the club has a clear incentive to secure continuity, yet nothing is finalised. That unsettled middle ground is where so many summers have turned into cliffhangers at Camp Nou. In the coming days, after the next international window closes, expect noise to become sharper. Either Barcelona will be able to close a deal that buys calm and continuity, or they will face a longer, riskier road to resolve the future of a player who sits at the heart of their project. For now, the plotline is simple. Deco met the new team. The door is open, and both parties have reason to try. Whether they walk through it together and what the terms of that crossing will be could decide not just a contract, but the direction of Barcelona's next season.